Hi everybody, I'm Guillermo, or Guille, or Guillermo, or whatever you want to call me, your Elections Commissioner. This video is going to be a compilation of all the senior class officer candidate speeches for those who missed the Zoom meeting or want to hear the speeches again. We'll start with Treasurer, then Secretary, then we'll proceed to Historian, Vice President, and finally President. Before we begin, I want to ask that you please watch all the speeches to give all of our candidates and me a chance to win over your hearts. Thank you, and let's begin.
Hey everyone, my name is Luke Bowles. I'm sure that most of you know me. You might have read one of my hot takes in the Vision, or you might have just seen me around school, might have seen me roasting Dr. Benj and Cal. I do that quite often. You might have seen me philosophy club or in track or cross country. I know many of you from many places. And as you can see, I'm clearly running for the treasurer position. I was also the treasurer this year for the junior class. And really, a lot of what we wanted to do didn't necessarily come to fruition, but we still got to achieve some really cool things. We held our first inaugural 21 Talks. That was really headed by our president, Madison Meeks, but it was still a great experience. We had many people turn out, and it was something really cool we did. We also handled Secret Pal. Some of you might have got an email from me for that. That was also another thing we did. We spearheaded virtual prom. And so even though a lot of the things that we wanted to do, especially prom, didn't necessarily turn out the way we wanted to, I still think our class officers handled this year the best that we really could. And ultimately, I really just want to say there's one thing that I really have is a great accomplishment from this year as class treasurer. Our prom this year cost us $0. So that budgeting is exceptional. I don't know how anyone can match that. That's the epitome of being a treasurer. I saved us so much money that honestly, it's amazing, truly. And I really just want to ask everyone to vote for me because I will continue to work hard as a senior and do my absolute best to be the class officer. I will definitely try to make our first dance as lit as possible because I know that, especially when the year starts, we're all going to have missed each other so much. We're all just going to want to have such a great time. And so I will do my absolute best to make that dance lit and assist with winter formal and do my absolute best to be treasurer. And I just want to say that I think our class officers did a really good job with our circumstances this year. And I really think I'm the safe pick to elect as treasurer again this year. And that's all. Thank you, guys.
Give me your attention, students. I gotta tell you a little something about myself. So, my name is Adriana, and I'm running for treasurer. Will you walk around here like you're gonna vote for someone else? Oh, wow. I know that you don't know it, but you should vote for me. Oh, wow. Oh, students, I'm gonna show you how good I can be. Just wait and see. Treasurer, that is what I want. If you can give me your vote, I will make some Benjamins. If you vote me treasurer, Okay, guys, so now that I have your attention, I would like you to vote me as treasurer for our senior year, but hopefully the song I sang earlier made that apparent enough. I'm very experienced with fundraising and other events that require a strong presence of someone who is experienced with money since I have worked in multiple community service projects where I had to plan and handle money. Some of these projects included t-shirt sales that my old school had at the beginning of the year, mini cheer camp, and I worked at my local farmers market. All of these events had well over 100 participants and customers, and they're mostly paying up front. Through this, I have learned to do more with my money than just go shopping. I've had leadership positions at my old school since I was secretary of the student council there. I know adequate ways to raise money and how to get the best for my buck. If I'm voted treasurer, I would like to dedicate time to make every cent MSMS spends worth it. I want to plan more fundraisers for the upcoming year to make money more flexible when MSMS hosted events come up. On another note, I know that this position is labeled as the person who handles money, but I realize that it takes more than that to handle this position. It will take cooperation skills to work with other people and the other officers. I'm a very flexible and friendly person, so I'm easy to work with and to approach. I'm dedicated to show everyone that I can be a good class officer, and I would love to show you my skills if you vote me, Adriana Mays, as your senior class treasurer. And if you don't, I guess this means I'll just start my singing career. Make my wish come true and vote me treasure. If you vote me treasure.
Hi everyone. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Kate Hall and I'm running for Senior Class Secretary. And I would just like to start by saying that each one of these class officers' positions matter. They each have an important role, and as some of you may know, I am the current Junior Class Secretary, which means that I have experience in this role. I am very thankful that I was chosen for this position. I've enjoyed working with the other class officers and putting together prom for you guys, even though it unfortunately didn't happen. But since graduation is the big thing for senior class officers, I can guarantee you that I will work even harder to make sure that it turns out amazing. And like I said, since I am the current secretary, I have experience with this position. And I already understand the duties that I'm required to do. I know the roles and I have experience with them. And because of that, I'll be able to do these things even better for senior year. I also already have some ideas for some things that I would like the class officers to do for senior year, and I will be open to ideas from other people as well. And I really hope that you guys will consider me as your vote for secretary. I promise that I will work hard at this position. I won't take it lightly, and I will not let you down as the senior class secretary. Thank you.
Hi, as most of you hopefully know, my name is also Kate. I'm Kate McElhinney, and I'm running for senior class secretary as well. You can ask just about anyone, and they'll probably tell you that I'm very organized and detail-oriented when it comes to anything and everything school-related. I can write and type quickly, and my handwriting is legible and neat. I understand that I'm not running for president, nor was I secretary last year, but I also understand that being a class officer is a team effort, and it requires working well with others, which I can do well. I am fully prepared to work with the other class officers to make this year great for all of us. I take good notes, and I'm very comfortable with making spreadsheets, lists, and anything needed to keep all of our information organized. I'm a great listener, and I'm always open to new ideas. I prefer to listen and present solutions instead of worrying about the problems. I would love to hear your ideas so we can do everything in our realm of possibility to make it happen. Speaking of new ideas, I have a vision for our senior year that I hope to work with the other class officers to make happen. I really think that the pandemic we're experiencing currently has the potential to bring us closer together as a class, and I think that we should act upon that. As you all know, the seniors move in a couple of days after the juniors, and their schedules during orientation week are different, seeing as we're a bit more familiar with MSMS than our new juniors. I propose that we use the first few days of orientation week for bonding activities. I really think that we have the potential to become the best senior class MSMS has ever had, but in order to do that, we have to learn how to work together and respect each other, which is why I'm suggesting that we use orientation week to learn more about each other and do fun events like bowling, cahoots, drawing with sidewalk chalk, or other stress-free interactive activities. Of course, I would have to speak to whomever wins treasurer along with the other class officers to see if and how we could get money to fund such activities. I also really love the candygrams that were done this year, and I think that we should continue to carry on that tradition. And lastly, on behalf of the majority of the student body, I would like to work with the SGA to make skateboards and scooters legal on campus. All that being said, I exemplify all the good qualities of a secretary. I'm a strong writer and I take excellent notes. I listen well and I'm always open to new ideas. I have a plan for how I want our senior year to play out, and I hope y'all give me the chance to execute it. Thank you to everyone here. It means a lot that y'all are putting in the effort to consider every candidate. I hope you'll consider me and vote me, Kate McElhinney, for senior class secretary tomorrow. Thank you. That's it.
Hi everyone, my name is Carlene Ding and I'm running for the senior class vice president position. Before I start, I would like to say I'm extremely grateful that I had the opportunity to serve as the junior class vice president. I learned so much, and getting to work with all of my fellow amazing officers was truly an experience, and I would love to continue that as the senior class vice president. I not only learned the responsibilities of being an MSMS officer, but I also got to partake in a lot of the events that occurred throughout junior year, which I'll talk about later on. Now, the last time I was in this position, I kind of gave you the spill on how I broke my ankle. And for those of you who don't remember or don't even know what I'm talking about, I basically broke my ankle skating. It was an extremely traumatic and embarrassing moment in my life, and all my friends made fun of me, and it literally scarred me. Long story short, I ended up getting 2 surgeries, and I sat in a wheelchair for the remainder of my school year. The lesson I kind of learned from that, and I also talked about in my speech, is not only the importance of relying on others, but trusting the people around you. When I was in a wheelchair, I was physically incapable of doing a lot of things in school, including participating in class activities and class assignments. But with the help of my friends, who literally pushed me everywhere and supported me through everything I did, I was able to survive that last semester. Now, and the same can be happened with a senior class. I want to continue feeling that comfort and aid that I felt in a wheelchair for my only president, but also my other officers, because I believe that's one of the sole ways to create memorable and fun moments that really cap off our senior year, including graduation and the 100-day ceremony. With that being said, as a junior class vice president, I organized and planned a lot of events, including 21 talks and prom. However, there were some events I didn't quite get through. One of them being a cookout, which I think Matt came up with. The idea essentially was to have us juniors and seniors kind of bond and come together before the second semester exam chaos that would eventually start. Although it would be a really good idea for our junior year, I also think it'd be a great idea for the beginning of our senior year. It not only will give us a fresh start to our last year in high school, but it will also help us create those bonds with our juniors who are coming in and wanting to know us and wanting to know about the MSMS life. As a vice president, I strive to not only give those aids for my other fellow officers, but I want to create fun and good ideas for our senior year that I have from my past experience. That's all I have for you guys today. Thank you so much. I hope you vote for me for senior class vice president.
What's up, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Sinead Desai, although many of you may know me as Birdman because of my previous experience of getting pooped on by birds at MSMS. 1 year ago, I ran for junior class president in our very own Hooper Odd, which you see above. And I delivered a speech that knocked the wind out of everyone so hard they were physically and mentally unable to vote for me, so I assume. Unfortunately, that meant that I lost badly. I got like 1 vote. It didn't even come from me. Anyways, all jokes aside, I will be running this year as your MSMS senior class vice president. I stand before you today because I want to be the change. I want to be the one to make y'all's transition smoother from junior to senior year. I want to make sure that y'all's last year in high school is the best one yet, assuming Corona will let us, of course. I want to be the friendly face that our juniors can look to and a defender for my seniors currently at MSMS. Our last year together is going to go by in the blink of a second, but I want to make it the best blink you've ever blinked. I want our formal, our prom, and especially our graduation. I will work to make these things to be as memorable and as exciting as possible for everyone. I will also work with the officers to coordinate fundraising events, senior bonding experiences, and possibly senior trips. While in office, I would also like to raise awareness for the Sandy Hook Promise Foundation. So school shootings are a problem that we did not have to face 5-10 years ago, but one that we are currently facing. I want to implement a campaign called Say Something Week at MSMS, where students can learn the warning signs of someone at risk of hurting themselves or others and ensure they say something to a trusted adult. Also, I will make sure your voice is heard, even if that means screaming my suggestions at my fellow officers, because we all know I am the loudest person you will ever meet. Holding leadership positions from 6th grade until now, I believe I have gathered the skills, the knowledge, and the experiences to make me a reliable candidate that you can count on. My main priority will be the class of 2021. Before school, after school, during school, whenever I am needed, I will be there. Of course, I will be here to listen to y'all's concerns and offer any help and advice that I can, even if that means staying up late to do so, but obviously not after 11:59 when I'm supposed to be asleep. I will work my hardest to ensure a smooth but productive senior year and to make sure you won't have to experience the embarrassment falling flat in your face, both literally and figuratively. Trust me, guys, when I say I have experience falling up the steps and down the steps of Hooper on the first day of junior year. With this in mind, I will end by saying, don't vote for me just because you're my friend or just because you know of me. Vote for me if you believe in me and if you trust me to represent the class of 2021 well. So if you picked up absolutely nothing from my speech, just remember this. Don't be shy and vote for Sinead Desai as your next senior class vice president. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Abby Strain, although I hope you all already know that, and I'm trying to run for vice president of the senior class. Before I begin, I would like to apologize for my haircut because I am the barbershop memes, and I know it's kind of hard to look at. But anyways, I would like to talk about how much MSMS means to me because over this quarantine period, I've realized exactly how much that is, which is way more than I expected it to be. When I arrived on campus this past August, I expected MSMS to become my home away from home. However, in between then and now, it's become my home that I'm away from. I thrived off of hearing the laughter in Hooper hallways as I changed classes, and the sometimes very odd snippets of conversation between friend groups. I miss seeing the Polish propaganda on every single whiteboard, and I even miss the mediocre at best cafeteria food. I wish that I could have recovered Hooper and Shaq in too many sticky notes that say things like vote Abby for VP, and posters this time because I am adapting. And I wish that I could be giving the speech to you guys in person. I adore this class as a whole, and I adore the school as a whole. And even though the last quarter of our year has been stolen from us, I am so thankful for the first 3 quarters that we did receive. I could doubtlessly address the speech to any individual who is listening, and in fact, I don't even think it would be challenging. I know that that sounds cheesy and kind of fake, but it's not a lie. Every single person in this class has impacted me, if not directly, then indirectly, and I appreciate you all individually. Every person in our student body deserves to be in our student body because we are all incredibly talented and smart. Although I'm part of the student body as well, and I know it doesn't feel like that sometimes. MSMS exudes a sense of belonging, and that's exactly why I want to represent our class. I appreciate our class as a whole and individually, and I would adore every single responsibility that came with being the vice president. As my speech draws to a close, I want to remind you guys to please vote for whoever you want to vote for, whether that be your friend because you're doing the normal high school thing where it's a popularity contest, or who you see as best fit. If it's not with me, then I understand. However, I would like to remind you guys that I will adore every responsibility that I could receive, and I will appreciate anything that I am involved with from being the vice president.
My name is Madison Meeks, and of course, I'm running for re-election for senior class president. So I'll begin my speech now. Coming to MSMS was one of my goals since the 6th grade. I did everything in my power to put myself in the best position to get here. Now that I'm here and basically completed my first year at this divine institution, I see nothing but raw and authentic greatness everywhere I turn. Sorry for the wind. I recently started calling this place the Venice of Mississippi high school students, a place where a bunch of Michelangelos, Leonardo da Vinci's, and Aristotles come together and dwell to share thoughts, improve ideas, and solve the unsolvable. And I can't believe that I had the privilege of being your class president this past year. This position has been one of my greatest accomplishments in life, where I've learned to convey ideas with tactics that I've never thought I would have in my arsenal, while starting programs like 21 Talks, Junior Spotlight, and even coming up with our first quarantine prom. I vowed to you guys to make our junior year sweet, and honestly, I felt that it was as sweet as it could get with the lemons that the world handed to us. I come to you vying again to be your senior class president, not only to make senior year sweet, but to make it sweeter. I know what you're all thinking now. Okay, when is she gonna rap? Okay, guys, I'm really sorry. I vowed to be a one-hit wonder in the MSMS music industry. Nonetheless, I'm still a rap legend and a primetime lyricist, so please pay close attention to what I say in a minute. Anyways, I wanted to make this year sweeter, and I know y'all are like, I really don't want to believe her. Well, listen to this. I want to make this year super fun. That's my goal for the long run. I want to get everyone involved, my athletes, my math nerds, and even my artsy Salvador Dalis, and even my Star Wars fanatics. I want to lead the force with us being persistent and making memories, excluding every type of hate and strife, no negativity, nothing but positivity for us all. Maybe we should take a lesson from our childhoods and explore the greatness in our lives like Dora, saying no to all the swipers of our rights as members of this student body and ultimately this country. I want to make sure that we know that we're all in this together. So 21 should always keep talking to make sure that all of our heads are in the game. and they stay in the game. The main goal of mine is to make sure that our amazing, intelligent, innovative class relishes in the moment, because as we all know, you only live once, and it really be like that. It really do. So to my fellow classmates, I say, let's make this year sweeter and vote for me, Madison Meeks, as your senior class president. Before I'm done, I want to voice the same sentiments I did in October. Please vote for who you feel will best get the job done. It is evident to know that all of the candidates are talented beyond measure, with their strengths and even their weaknesses. We're all pieces of this beautiful puzzle. Right now, this is the time where we have the duty to rearrange each piece of the puzzle to make the right picture. So in short terms, vote for who you think will do the best, because we're all affected by this, not just a select few. Thank you.
Hi everyone, I'm Gracie Rowland. If you don't know me, I'm a junior here at MSMS. I have witnessed the prejudice, the poverty, and the pain of our world. And I want to change that. I want to make the world that I love a world worth loving. MSMS is our state's future. We have the potential to drive the intellect and the empathy to revolutionize a world that marginalizes so many. Our state, our nation, and our world does not have to be one of pain and inequality. I have over 100 peers in my class of 2021 at MSMS, and I feel entirely confident that they are going to do something extraordinary. I want to be senior class president because I want to be as instrumental to you guys as possible. I want to ensure that the president is not one intent on gaining power or prestige, but rather one seeking only to act as a faceless vessel for furthering the needs, wants, and opinions of my peers. You know, I was wondering what I could talk about during this speech. I could spend the speech talking about my years of leadership experience or my many community service projects. I could even sit here and crack jokes all day and maybe make the speech more about comedy than substance. But I don't want to. Because what makes a good president is not the ability to be an authoritative tyrant or useless figurehead. Rather, it is the ability to be selfless, to never put personal interests above those of the class. The student body should always feel comfortable coming to the president with ideas and opinions. We work for you. You don't work for us. The president should not scare. She should relate. I want to be that person. I don't need this position to pad my resume or to check a box off on a college checklist. I don't need that. I'm running for president because I see the immense potential in us, and I want to ensure that it's accomplished to its fullest extent. I am tenacious and passionate and driven, and I don't give up. Vote for me so that I can work for you. My name is Gracie Rowland, and I'm running for senior class president.
That was all the speeches. Thank you for listening. Remember to vote on the Microsoft form I'm sending out with this video, and I'll see you when I make the next one.